Morning, guys.
Hi, Brian. What the Greg Little pickup a couple days ago was the thinking for you and Chris? We need more depth in the offensive line. Here's a guy who can come in and compete, or was it a case of this is a guy maybe we think could challenge to be a starter here? Obviously, I know you've invested in Austin Jackson.
I mean, we have some familiarity with him from the draft a couple years ago. Um, Opportunity to get a young player, come in, compete. Um, Look, it's a new environment, new locker room. I mean, he's got to learn the playbook. He's got to learn his teammates. He's got to figure out the surroundings here in our building in this area. So I think the message to him is let's take it one day at a time. Let's try to improve, get better, learn the system, get to know your coaches, get to know the players on the team. You know, figure out where the bathrooms are, figure out where the meeting rooms are, figure out where like 595 is. I think that's kind of where we're at right now. We'll take it one day at a time and just try to improve, get better, and you know, once we'll coach him up and see where it goes. But we're happy to add Adam. He's a my conversation with him was very good. He's excited to be here and excited for the opportunity to compete.
When you evaluated him in college, what are a couple of things he seemed to have going for him?
Well, we had a 30 visit with him, so we sat down and talked to him, and there was some good rapport there as far as his love for the game and passionate about working and getting better. So I think obviously on film he's athletic and has size and was competitive on film. So we're happy to have him. But look, if this is a process. Um, we'll just take it one day at a time and try to improve and get better.
Any decision on how you'll manage snaps for the veterans for the penultimate preseason game? Will it be that dress rehearsal?
We'll have that meeting's tonight. We're just trying to get through, well, not even get through, but have a good practice today against Atlanta. And, I expect, most guys to play. But that's, as far as how much, who exactly, we'll talk more in depth about that tonight. We've had some, let's call it early conversations about that, but that's a meeting for tonight. Right now, we're just focused on this practice against Atlanta.
Arthur Smith said yesterday that he didn't have a great deal of familiarity with you before going into this off season. From afar, I guess, what were your thoughts on him as a coach, and why was it appealing to have this with him?
Yeah, we've gotten to know each other, pretty recently. From afar, great deal of respect for him. I think just in meeting with him and having conversations with him over the last few months about these joint practices, I've seen, that he's a guy who's tough, who's smart, who's competitive, who loves to coach, who's team first, who's humble, down to earth, very bright. I think he's an excellent teacher. Watching him out there yesterday, I think he's an excellent teacher, an excellent coach, and there's no. It's really not. I understand why he had so much success in Tennessee, and why he's been granted the opportunity to be the head coach of the Falcons, and a lot of respect for him. And hopefully we can continue this professional relationship. And yesterday was good, and we talked about the practice and the competition in the practice and how we both felt good about. The structure and the things we were able to get done and the conversation we were able to have with our teams. So a lot of respect for Arthur, and look forward to working with him and his team today.
Quick follow-up, if I may. I'm not sure. Obviously, you don't have to. You don't want to feel comfortable, with a private conversation. But I'm going to ask you about being a 30-something first-time head coach, coming from a coordinator level, making that jump. What advice could you give him?
I'm 40 now. Is that what you want to? Is that what you're trying to get that out there?
A little wiser,
I mean, this year's been, asking about my weight, my age now. I mean, like, Arthur's, he's very bright, very, very organized, very, um, I think he's just going to continue to do the things he's done in the past. I think he's going to be himself. I think he's going to be just fine. For us guys who are over the hill, we're still trying to.
Brian, greetings from Boston.
How you doing?
Doing well, man. Just curious, through your 2+ years here, you've not been afraid, you've not been shy about turning some things over on the team. You've gone through some coordinators, some players. Do you think that sends a message to the players?
I think we try to do what we feel is best for the organization. I don't know if having a Boston guy in here is that, but yeah, I think look. We're always going to try to do what we feel is best for the organization, for the team, for the organization. That's always going to be the case. I try to. I preach that we need to be team first, and I think when making decisions, myself, Chris, our coaching staff, for anyone who comes into the building, we want to make those decisions with the best of the organization in mind, and we're going to continue to do that.
Matt Ryan was saying yesterday he was joking with you about the 03 Boston College days and not to treat him hard like that. What do you remember most about those days and maybe practicing against him?
I remember he was a very good player. I was a senior when he was a freshman, so he was a very good player right off the bat. So he was carving us up as a scout team player, and we wanted him out of there. So that's the true story, and I'm sure that's the one that's more believable here too. So he's had an incredible career. He's a good friend. It's been a joy to kind of watch him grow and get drafted and have the success he's had. But I'll tell you this: he's a better person than he is a player, and that's the one thing about him that I've always had a great deal of respect and admiration for him because of that. And I think he's a great ambassador for Boston College. I think he's a great ambassador for this league as well. So nothing but respect for him. But when we step in between those white lines, we're trying to go after him.
Coach, with your running backs, which one do you think has separated himself the most from the rest of the room at this point in camp?
I mean, we like all our backs. And they're all a little bit different. They all have the ability to play really, multiple downs. And we're going to try to, use them all. So from Malcolm to Miles to Savon, Patrick Laird's gone in there and done some good things. Scarlett's gone in there. He had a couple good runs last week. Dokes has gone in there and had some good runs. So try to use them all. And
does that give an opposing defense when you can give them guys with different skill sets with multiple looks would have to prepare for that versus just a traditional stuff?
I think every back's got a little different skill set. So if you're, got a big back and he's more of an inside runner, that's what you're ready for defensively. If on the next play you got a fast guy who's going to the perimeter, and your edge guy's got to set the edge. If you got somebody who's good out of the backfield and they're going to line them up and empty, then you got to be ready for that too. So, I think it's offensively we have the ability to kind of move those chess pieces, and I think each guy has shown themselves to be dependable when they've been in there, and to me that's a big thing. If you're a dependable player, and you're going to be where you need to be and be productive when called on, then you'll probably get an opportunity to play here.
How do you
Brian,
feel
what has Jalen Waddle given you compared to what you thought you were getting when you drafted him?
Look, Jalen's a tough, smart kid. Football's important to him. Improvement is important to him. He's a good teammate. He's as supportive. I mean, he's as excited about someone else making a catch or having a good run or a good block as he is about anything he does. So So there's a selflessness there that I mean we knew that, and it's been fun working with him. He's still got a long way to go. He's a rookie. Still getting used to practicing in this league and the competition in this league, and these preseason games, these practices, the joint practices are good for him and really all of our rookies. But I've been very pleased with him.
You mentioned improvement. Where have you seen maybe the most improvement in him over the last 3 weeks?
For all the rookies, I think it's, when you come into this type of environment, it's all of it is so new. I think creating a routine for yourself, and learning how to be a professional, what that is. I think for all of them, I know you asked specifically about Jalen, but Jalen Waddle, but learning or figuring out a routine for yourself that's going to help you perform at the best of your capabilities. And I think that's something that all of our rookies are still trying to figure that out. And do I cold tub after practice? Do I get a massage on my off day? Do I do I get in the cryo chamber? I mean, I think it's, and they're listening. They're taking the coaching. I mean, we're coaching them up, and I think each one of them, Jalen. I know you talked specifically about Jalen, but Jalen in particular is just trying to find the best things and asking a lot of questions about the best ways to, keep his body healthy, keep his mind healthy, so that he can go out there and perform.
After having missed some time, how close is Xavier Howard to returning to his peak form?
I mean, it's hard to get into peak form, without games, I would say. Even in week one, no one will have played 60, 70 snaps. Even if you call a dress rehearsal, let's say if we did that in the preseason, it's not going to be 4 quarters, right? Or else everybody will be yelling at me about take the guy out, right? So peak performance, I mean, you can get close, but there's no way to mimic a 60-minute football game unless you do it. And I think the first time out is different than the 6th, 7th, 8th time out. So if you're talking about mid-season form, I think mid-season form is mid-season. If that makes sense.
Brian, with that, go ahead.
What are you looking forward to about being back at Hard Rock Stadium?
It's excited to get back into our home stadium. Excited to see the fans, for sure. I mean, I think that was the first thing that came to mind. Especially with last year. I mean, we had fans, but it was capped at, I forget the number, maybe 13 or 14,000. And compared to some other places, it felt like it was 113,000. So, excited to get, to play in front of our fans. I think we have a great fan base, a supportive fan base, and we're excited to get in front of them. And, we love feeling their support. So I would say that's probably the number one thing.
Last question. Sorry, just one quick follow-up. With this being kind of your only preseason game, do you view this as a way to get ready for the regular season in terms of your coaching staff and your teammate and players just getting ready and getting used to the stadium and the locker room and those kinds of things?
Yeah, so we'll walk through. There's a lot of guys who haven't been over there, so we'll go over there. Hey, we park here, locker rooms here, training rooms here, weight rooms here. Well, this is our sideline. That's the play clock. That's the game clock. We'll go through that. And I think you have to do it, or else to assume that these guys know exactly where all that stuff or where to go is. I mean, I think it's make assumptions. Normally we know what happens, but yeah, from that standpoint, we are going to try to do as much as we can to make game day as comfortable and seamless as possible, knowing full well that the first time out there's always going to be something with a tablet or a headset or whatever it may be.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.